is going to be good stuff.
Go Hawks.
Yeah, I'm from Seattle, so unfortunately we get people from Seattle down here that are real estate investors and bandwagon fans. That's what I like to call them. So, hey everybody, John Trautman. We're here on the Truth or Comfort podcast. We have Sheila and Rochelle here, students of REKI and new real estate investors. Welcome.
Hello.
Yes. So, you guys, when did you guys join REKI?
We did Momentum Bootcamp June 6th, 7th, and 9th.
Yeah.
Or 8th.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
That weekend.
Yeah, and then the first training that we had was like May 17th-ish.
That weekend one.
Are you guys going to beat Doug to the finish line on the first deal? Because I have a talk with him today, and I just want to make sure that I rub this in a little bit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we heard that he got a house. Jeff told us.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He did back out. It was a Ralph Haver home.
Okay.
Which is a great home, but it just didn't pencil.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll revisit it if we could get the price down.
Yeah.
Yes. You know the house. So what's been your experience? Bring us up to speed. You have your first deal that should be closing today or tomorrow or soon.
That's the plan. So we came across a property. We knew the owners.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fourplex in Mesa. And so we just marketed it. She did it on Craigslist.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And there were several people who approached us about it. We ended up going with the person who said they were going to close the fastest.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
a lot longer.
So we were originally supposed to close on the 8th.
Okay.
And then the 8th came. And then they asked for an extension until the 19th.
Okay.
So, of course, we had to go to the buyer or the seller. And he was like, that's fine, you know. And so then the 19th came.
Yes.
And it went. And
Okay.
we still haven't closed. So today's supposed to be the day.
So there was a reason why. So when we signed the contract originally, there was supposed to be 2 vacant units in the fourplex.
Okay.
Well, the seller put another person in one of the units.
Oh, that's so nice of them.
So then it changed the numbers, right?
Right.
And so that's why they needed more time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they we received an email and they're like, you'll get everything today. So it's 1:20 and we're still waiting. So
Checking
we'll
email
see.
every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Let's just swing by this person's house and see what's happening.
Right.
It's so everything's gone according to plan.
No.
So the one thing obviously is in real estate the variable is that human element where that you cannot always predict.
Right.
So limiting obviously your exposure and all that stuff. I mean, I would go in with the fastest close and stuff like that. Maybe proof of funds, who's got the money or at least has a roadmap or funds letter or whatever it may be.
Right.
Would probably be my person too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think for us too is this person. They actually have a company out in Tempe.
Okay.
So they're that's
So we're going to put them on blast if they don't close this, right? You don't have
Sounds
to say
like
the
a
name.
plan.
That'll be the follow-up.
Right. So yeah, that's part of the reason why too. A couple of the other people, they just wanted to drive by the property and really
Right.
he maintained communication with us. So that's part of the reason why we're still. Not only that too, they mentioned they wanted to work with us, possibly be our gappers if we needed assistance in any type of way. So we're gonna build a relationship with them. It's been rough, but it's our first deal, and it happened 6 weeks after our first class.
Yeah.
It's been. I think being patient. Real estate is tricky.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It is, and I think the more that you guys go through it, the more avenues you guys find that you're able to go down, and it just starts to unfold more and more opportunities. So that's the thing. I always say it's why it's like I don't think one person can be an expert at all this stuff. It's just there's too many pieces to it. Period. At the end. So when I hear someone talking about how they do everything, it's just like, wow, that must be awesome.
Right.
Could we just see one project then?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So what made you guys get going in real estate? Just curious.
Well, she approached me. She went to a seminar.
Okay.
Yeah.
To one of ours?
Yeah.
All right. That's good. That's a good start.
Yeah.
And then she approached me and was like, hey, I came across this opportunity. Do you want to come with me? I was actually only supposed to go one day.
Okay.
To fill in for my uncle.
Got it.
And I ended up staying all 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I heard about your dad.
Probably.
Was he a little bit of a naysayer? Did I hear about this right?
Yes.
It's okay. Like most people are. Like most people, when you have like a father or a good friend and they're coming in, a lot of people actually do play that role.
Yeah.
And for lots of different reasons. But I'd like to hear what your father's reason were.
Yeah. So I think for him, it was just his past experiences with other companies because my mom and him, they tried to do like a real estate thing in the past with another company, and apparently they said that after like that first seminar, you know, they signed up and then the people like never called them back.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So at that point now he's like skeptical of things, you know, in the future. So then this comes along and I actually asked him to come with me the very first time, and he's like, okay, yeah, I'll come with you. So he comes with me, and then that's when we were like met with the decision, like, okay, do we move forward, do we not? And the thing is, like, I'm his daughter, so I obviously really respect his opinion.
Of course.
And so I honestly think that him being there actually helped because I kind of got like his approval. Like the thing is, I'm mid-20s, so I don't need his approval on anything anymore.
So it's always good to have your parents' approval. Though.
But like
and
just
support.
just having his support at that time, I was like, okay, like this is not a dumb decision. Like let's just do it. So that's when I did it, and you know, obviously his opinion has changed. Like now, seeing how far we've gotten with the support of REKI, so that's always nice. We can change someone's opinion.
I tell them it's not too late to get started.
Right. Yeah.
It's it is important, I think, as a company, like the way, you know, I hear about other people's experiences all the time. So I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they sign up. And they get maybe 4 training sessions or something like that, which is truly not enough. When I got started, just real quick, I paid for a mentor, but differently. Like, here's the criteria. I went out and did it, and it cost me 50% of the deal, essentially. So, and they would, you know, I guess I had a wholesaler friend that would help me. This was up in Seattle, and I started in Tacoma, Washington. But that deal would literally cost 50%.
Wow.
So you're going to pay for it either way, right? So, but the key is if I didn't have that support, and I tell the guys here all the time, the messenger could get in the way of the message, which would be horrible because I think, in my opinion, if someone goes somewhere else and ends up joining another real estate education company, I just don't think they're going to get the same support, if you will. That's just me standing out in the soapbox. I don't normally do it like in this setting, but I'm going to do it real quick. Sorry. So I'll step off the soapbox now.
Yeah.
But so how long have you guys been looking at getting started in real estate? Before you kind of took the plunge, or has it always been something in the back of your mind? Or
for me, I'm a little bit older than her, and so we actually have an aunt that wanted to get into being a real estate agent. And so when I was fresh into college, she's like, "Hey, do you want to do it?" I never followed through, so it's always been in the back of my head. Like I know that there's money to be made, but where is it though? How am I supposed to do it? And so when she approached me about it, I was like, "Let's do it. Let me go. Let's see how it is." And after the first day, I was like, I'm going to come back the next 2 days. Like, I had to, you know, hey, Uncle Gabe, can I, you know, can I just take your spot?
You're no longer welcome.
I just took your spot. But no, they, Andrea and Bryce, they were like, you know what, you're already here. Just come back. Yeah. You're already doing this. And so, you know, we took the weekend to figure out if we wanted to do the full mentorship.
Right.
And I'm really glad we did. We just did our one-on-one with Jeff.
Yeah.
But that was last week, right? Yeah.
And here's the thing, like, I'll be honest about that. Like, before we got there, like, I had no intention whatsoever of doing the full thing. I was like, there's no way. I'm just going to go for the weekend and just learn what I need to learn and figure it out. But by the end of it, like, you realize that you're like, yeah, you probably need it.
You need somebody to learn from.
So it's weird how it all maps itself out like that, because when I do talk, it just so happens, like, when we got started, we would sit people down for like 2 to 3 days and just break down their market and help them out, just friends and family. And then we'd send them on their way and nothing would happen. And then you sit back and go, man, I just wasted like 3 days of my life helping someone and they're not doing it. But I think it's just that there's just too much information over 3 days. It's enough to get you like, okay, I have this base, but now who am I accountable to daily?
Right.
For me, I say we could give away all the information in the 3 days. It doesn't even matter. Give it all away. Everything that you possibly can.
Yeah.
The more, the better. At least, if someone decides it's not for them, maybe they have the best opportunity, will remember something to be successful. I think it's more about like your team holding you accountable.
Yeah.
Like, who's your coach?
Stephanie and Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're awesome. Here's the thing, like, honestly, like, with that, like, that's been so helpful because
Which part? The Stephanie and
the accountability. Okay,
yeah.
So the reason for that is because there will be times where I'm like, okay, we need to get this done. Like, we're talking to Stephanie on Tuesday, like, we need to get it done. And so honestly, like, even just over the weekend, like, we shared our goals with them to keep us accountable. Like, hey, we want to put in this amount of offers in a week. Like, help keep us accountable. Like, let us ask us how we're doing every time we talk. You know, hey, did you meet your goal? Did you not? And so I feel like that's really helpful because we can, in a sense, keep ourselves accountable, but there's like a certain level to that, you know. But when you're accountable to someone else, that there is something else that's like pushing you.
Right. I agree with that, and that's the beauty of it. But it's also like super achievable. Yeah. Like that week, whatever it is that you need to accomplish, is not so overwhelming you can't get it done. But to break it out like that, I think is where I know for a fact you guys since you're with Stephanie, just knowing Stephanie, she's gonna push you guys hard.
Yeah, she's awesome.
No, like your comfort zone will get pushed.
No, listen, like we have like an offer spreadsheet. And she was like, by next week, she's like, by next week, I want to see like 20 offers on this. We had like one offer on there. We were like, okay.
I love Stephanie.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really appreciate, the coaching calls and then being able to email somebody and then receive a response, fairly quick. I've gone to other weekend seminars for other companies over,
for real estate? Or?
Yeah. Okay. For 10 years, the last 10 years of my life. And it never got past that free weekend event. Yeah. Right? And it was because, you get a vibe from the speaker or from the company and you're like, I'm not really feeling it, And so Trent did a phenomenal job.
Trent's one of the owners too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and just the way he went about the training, and then Andrea and the whole team behind it, they're all awesome people, and you don't get that they're just trying to take my money vibe from them. Right. They're in it to help you.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have like any of their cell phone numbers too?
Yeah. No, we've reached out to them. Like there'll be times where
we have everyone's number.
Yeah. Like one time I reached out to Trent.
They're up on the
Yeah. For sure. Like, and that's the beauty of it too.
Yeah, we've reached out and she'll be like, I need a really quick response. So she's like, I'm gonna just text Trent. He says something.
Text Andrea,
and they will.
No, it's I think it's perfect. I think we're at that great size right now that we can. It scares me to grow too much, you know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, when's that tipping point?
Right.
So right now I'm like, no, we're good. We don't like, oh, you want to start a second one? No, we're good.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then I think it is at a nice, manageable level right now that we could actually go out. We have other trainers now we're working with to go out and help with the commercial aspect as well and teach people in the field that commercial more so than the residential, which is good. The commercial piece it's just a huge piece. And I've talked to, ex-gurus, if you will, gurus out there, and they're trying to figure it out. Maybe they have a commercial something in their portfolio. It's just different because it's a different beast. And I've learned from phenomenal people that the guy that actually wrote Go Hawks, he's they do a lot of commercial. Like in LA, they have like a 300,000 square foot Amazon facility they're working on. It's probably done by now, but anyways, a lot. So it's we all have mentors, if you will, that you kind of learn from throughout your history of going through real estate, and that's no different than where I'm at right now. Trying to always learn from people. Even the syndication piece is new to me, so I hired the best syndication coach that I could find, and working with him on doing that and going through my first true syndication deal, which has been about as smooth as your guys' is. All good intentions and everything like that, but you run across your hiccups, and as you guys go through this, you'll start to hone in on your group and those people, and I call them your keepers. Like if you're working with tradespeople, you end up with your keeper people that you just end up working with for a long time. Just like now, I consider Brian a keeper. I let him. I know you don't, but I do. No, actually, all jokingness aside, her husband and I did not get along very well when we first started working together. But do we get along well now? We get along great. Like seriously, we do a lot of business together. If I'm busy, he'll just come in and knock stuff out. And he does stuff that it's not in my wheelhouse. So, anyways, it's a good relationship. So, all right. So what's in the future? What are we doing?
Well, we definitely want to try everything, but right now we're just trying to secure our next house. So we have some offers out right now, waiting to hear.
Are you guys? What are you guys using? Out of curiosity, are you using MLS right now? Okay.
Yeah, primarily.
I mean, we use a lot of Zillow, Redfin. We do have portals set up with a couple of real estate agents for us, and we're still learning. There's Craigslist. I don't give Craigslist enough credit, but you can find a lot of stuff on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Do you guys use Property Radar?
No.
I'll show it to you. It's not in every state, but it's phenomenal. And you could, we could search this area, and we could find everything about every commercial piece or residential. Wow. It will color code them and show you like who's in default, how much equity they have. More importantly, if you're driving a neighborhood and you're like, that house looks like it's abandoned, you could click on that house and then half the time maybe get their cell phone number.
Nice.
So it's pulling from county records. So it's actually really good information. So that's why not every state has it, because it just takes a lot of time and effort to get through all that stuff. And a lot of states, it's not necessarily, it won't give you that public record. So it's on lockdown. So, but here it's nice. I recommend anybody in Phoenix have it. It's plus what they'll do, if you want to do like a list, and let's say you guys do a power hour or whatever you guys call on houses, you can do that as well by having them help you build a list. You could call them as much as you want. It's it's an app, but it's also web-based too, so you could have it up on your computer and go through it that way.
Nice.
Okay. Where was I going? So next, MLS. So we had someone on the podcast last week that she does a lot. She's been doing it 2 years, she said, right? And she's doing house after house after house now, and she's in her rhythm. But she uses the MLS every single time. I use the MLS 70% of the time to find my deals. So when people say like I can't find a deal out there or whatever, I always use the MLS. Do you guys have a realtor you work with?
Yeah.
How's that working out for you?
Well, so the one that's been putting in offers.
Won't watch this. I'll block her.
No, the one that's been putting in offers for us recently, like she's on top of it.
Yeah.
Like no complaints. She's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys find the properties, team up to her, and she puts them in for you.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we also kind of like ask the coaches, like, hey, based on these numbers, and they're really helpful too. Like, you might not need that much of a rehab, so you can lower this. Like, they're really good about like helping us tweak our numbers. Okay. Yeah.
So, some food for thought, and the coaches don't get into this, but I get into it a lot because I know they go down the path of using a realtor a lot. I'm a fan of, if I did the work, I'm going to go directly to the agent, and I'll elaborate on it a little bit. So if there's a property that you guys find that just came out and you know the area, so you're honing that area, it's underpriced, right? On Redfin, it's got that hot deal or whatever. Its likelihood of selling is 100% within 5 minutes. So putting in an offer, it's kind of like you're just in the blind, right? You don't really know how many offers anybody has or that property has and where you're at. So you kind of got to bid it higher, which cuts out your margin. So I went through that, and at some point I was like, this isn't really working for me. So I'm doing all the legwork. I'm finding the properties to tee them up to you for only you to tell me I need to bid higher. So I just started going, even on Redfin, you can see who the listing courtesy of. I take their number, copy, paste, and then find their cell phone number, and then call them on that property and say, hey, is this, Janet, whatever, and yes, hey, I'm calling about your property on 51st Avenue. Is that still available? Yes, it is. This is typically how it goes. Yes, it is. Oh, great. Do you have any offers on it? And they usually, if it's a good property, there's so much activity on that. Yeah, I kind of figured I know this area really well. This is where I invest. Are you representing anybody? And they 9 times out of 10, they say no. And I say, great. Do you mind if showing me the property? And if I like it, I'd like for you to represent me. And, now guess what happened? They're getting paid twice to do the same work. So sometimes highest price isn't the best deal, right? So when they're looking at their responsibilities to their client, because they're the agent that's representing the seller as well, and a lot of these properties I could go through and point them out where we weren't the highest, but we were probably the best deal. Some of them over $100,000. They had bids over $100,000 more than what we were willing to pay, but they knew we would close the deal. So they would sell that, right? I don't care how they sell it as whatever you need. But what you have in there now is you have the person that is helping them make that decision. Watch out for you too, because now they get paid the same, or twice as much, and they have room to work with. They have 6%. You can take it down to 5 or even 4, 4.5, whatever it is, to make that deal more pliable to their seller. So I've been doing that, and it works. Just kind of food for thought. I'm not saying cut out your agent, but I am saying if and when it comes to that, just know that is a good option. It's a great option.
Gotcha.
And what it did for me is it flipped it to where I wasn't fighting as much for the deals. I was keeping more equity as well, because I didn't have to bid the property up to be so much higher, and I'm just giving away equity, right? In fact, in most cases, people were bidding it much higher, and I still got the property. So,
nice. Cool.
So if you're not part of REKI, you can't use that information. It's patented. Okay? So it's hopefully you guys. Hopefully your agent just does it all and it works out well. But if not, this is just one of those things. After 100 offers, it's like, okay.
Right.
So, all right. So we were talking about what's next, and you said you want to try everything. You're looking for your next deal. Where are you guys looking at? You don't have to give away your specific. Are you looking at multiple areas of investing?
Anywhere.
We're pretty much, most of the stuff we found though seem to be Phoenix or Mesa.
Okay.
Some properties, Glendale, but
What is it that you guys like about Mesa? I'm a big Mesa fan right now.
She lives there.
Okay.
So
all right.
I actually live down the street.
Okay.
Off of 12th. So that's this is our neighborhood.
I invest in both areas, so.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Literally, one of the properties that you did is right across from where I used to work. I'm like,
which one?
So it's across from El Rancho. It's
the
orange and I used to work there.
That was the first one we bought out there.
Nice.
And it's. Did you see it lately? Oh, it came out pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it did. So that, and then there's the bail bonds right down the street, and then. This is why I like Mesa. Mesa has so much good stuff going right now. Down by Pete's.
Oh, okay.
So that red awning, that it's like a slump block with a red metal roof. So that one, and then the green one next to it, like super ugly, but they're occupied. At least the green one is. So we're just letting it sit and let money come in.
Right.
While we rent out the other ones, and then down the street, so what is that? Mesa, and then University, we have commercial medical facility going. That's where that one's at. And then we did another one. That's not the first one we did. The first retail one was across from you. But then we did our first Mesa deal was it's up on the wall over there. But it was a medical facility.
Nice.
And I think people are underestimating it. Right where that Pete's Fish and Chips is where the grid is going. So that's a $60 million build. Right around that Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
So there's just, you have that, the LDS Temple, the new ASU satellite campus, and just a lot of good stuff going.
Yeah.
Obviously light rail. And I think Mesa's doing a phenomenal job as a city in general. Like they did that Fiesta Mall area. I think they put $400 million there. Anyways, so that's why I'm a huge, I'm going to keep pumping up Mesa.
Yeah.
Don't invest yet till I'm done.
But I guess
you can run stuff by me.
I think really the reason why is just because I feel like they're more in our price range in those cities, right? Like I feel like that's how it kind of falls. Because the thing is, like the way our search is, it's like all cities essentially, like you know, in this area, but it typically our price range.
Yeah, that's just where we found where we can get our numbers in at those areas.
So with all that being said, though, you have all this stuff. Like if you could get like, what is it, like first second, like super close to Mesa Drive or Main Street. Main Street. I think you're going to do really, really well.
Yeah.
Because it's the more money that keeps coming into that city, it's just going to benefit investors.
Yeah.
And so when I see stuff there, I'm just like, man, someone should be jumping on these smaller houses that are right next to.
Tell us.
I know. Right?
When they come up, we'll jump on them.
I'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been scouting Mesa that much for residential or multifamily, but it is a good product that's out there that people should be. We've just been looking at strictly the commercial side of it. So, but I'll keep my eyes open. I need those finder's fees. Okay, so big real estate goals. What are they? I know what's next. Next is whatever's going to come your way. You're keeping an open mind, which I like.
Yeah, I mean, with learning how many different strategies you can work with just a property, and there's so many ways you can sell it or flip it onto somebody else. That's just the next goal. Is just getting that next property, really.
Yeah, and also too, like she just touched on it, like the creative financing and like just implementing those goals or those strategies, like where we can use them. So I guess just really being like versed on all the different options that we have. So it's not just like, oh, well, we're just gonna fix and flip it,
Right, multiple exit strategies and all that. Yeah, it is amazing how many opportunities or ways. Like
there are.
I made a mistake. Was it earlier this year with a student? I feel bad. We were just stuck on fix and flip, and then we could have just wholesale it and made way more, like a good amount of money too. So sometimes it's just like take the tunnel vision off.
Yeah.
Maybe I should take a refresher course or something. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for coming today to the Truth or Comfort podcast. So I think before we leave, though, I want you to, if you could, for anybody that's looking at getting started in real estate, real estate investing, any words of wisdom, advice, and especially, I would say women getting started in real estate investing. Obviously, we're seeing like more and more women get involved in real estate investing, which I think is great. I mean, it's managing processes and people, right? So it's good.
Yeah.
Due diligence, all that stuff. So anyways, that's kind of a bunch of stuff right there. I'll let you go ahead and answer it though.
Definitely don't be scared. So, like I stated in the past, I've gone to other...
Nope, she's not shaking.
I've gone to other, seen other companies work, and you really do get the support that they're telling you that they're going to give you. It's not just, hey, we're going to be here for you, and then you don't hear from them after 30 days.
Right.
It's been longer than that. We get support on a weekly. Not only that, we have unlimited emails that we blow up stuff.
Hey. Limited emails though.
And, it's been great. you learn so much more information on the one-on-one.
Right.
Than just the weekend, the free weekend, or the 600 weekend, whatever weekend it is. You know, you're like, oh, there's so much info. We left Momentum Bootcamp and we're like, oh my gosh, you know, there's so much. And then, you know, we meet up with Jeff and then there's just so much more.
Right.
And so you're always learning. And so there's like right now there's a notebook that Jeff wrote a bunch of stuff in. I'm like, I need you to give me that so I can go over everything, because there is so much more stuff that you do learn every time you meet with somebody of Reiki.
Right. That is good. You got your accordion, or what is it called?
Our football.
Football.
I haven't made mine yet, but we're working on it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I think just in real estate in general, I think just be prepared to put in the work.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah, I mean, I feel like you can be like, oh, yeah, I see that on TV. Just do that and blah, blah, and we're good. Like, no. We're learning that you need to work.
Yeah.
And obviously the reward is great, but, like, again, you need to be able to, like, put in that, be committed, you know, put in the dedication, the hard work, and also just be willing to, I guess, like, endure things that, like, are unpredictable, because, again, just with this first deal, it hasn't gone to plan. And, like, for me, it's hard because I'm very, like, perfectionist, like, no, this
coming out.
Yeah, like, I'm very, like, this is the routine,
She's
like,
not denying it.
But now I'm like, okay, we just gotta roll with it, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously there's like a line, you know, to where you're like, okay, this is not acceptable, but just being able to like roll with like, all right, cool, so it just didn't go as planned, but we're still gonna keep going, you know, that type of thing.
Each deal that you do is gonna push your boundaries of your capacity, if you will, and get it to grow. So like there'll be more and more challenges, and sometimes they come at the worst time, but it also you just have to let it go.
Yeah.
Like, control the things you can.
Right.
But on some of that stuff, also, like, as you start to get into, like, doing the fix and flips and have it, well, the nice thing is you guys are here. So just, like, you guys could tap into subs and all that stuff, whatever you guys need.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that are watching, if you're out of state, as you manage, like, a GC, or you manage that process, and then you eventually lean yourself off and become your own. That whole thing is a learning experience, because you have someone else kind of dictating the quality of the work, you know, the budget, if you will, and you know what's, you know, I'm seeing it right now on a deal, and it's just like, you know, it's time to do your own deal.
Right.
But anyways, it's all good stuff. Everything is good. So at the end of the day, work hard.
Yeah.
I'll say the reason why we're able to get to all those emails is because if you guys are doing the work, there's probably someone not doing the work.
Yeah.
And so, and it's unfortunate because the support is there, and we make sure, and we're ramping up more and more support people constantly to make sure that we can support the people that want to put in the work. And we're going to push everybody as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know, to their breaking point, I guess.
Yeah, and also to just understanding that, like, you know, it's a process, you know, it's a growing process. Like, I just told my friend the other day, she asked me, she's like, oh, how's the whole real estate thing going? And I'm like, I think I told her, like, I'm grateful for the progress, but I'm just learning to be patient through the process.
Right.
Because, you know, it really is growth. Like, when we think about how far we've gotten in just, like, the last 2 months, we're like, wow.
So you didn't say I'm retired yet?
No.
Busted out a check or something? No? So I think that's key too, because a lot of people are like, hey, how's that going? And it's more like, just give it time. It's one of those things that it will pick up momentum, and as it does, like, you're creating wealth, and no one's created wealth overnight. It just happens as you build it. Like, I tell people, like, try to get $300 a month coming in a residual.
Yeah.
Just focus on that first, and then how about $600?
Right.
How about $1,000? What's that look like? You know, $1,000 a month coming in, or 2 or 10, or whatever it is, right? Like, working towards that goal as a supplemental income to what you guys are currently doing. I assume you both still kept your jobs?
She works.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I always say, like, did you quit your job to do this full time?
No.
I actually approached her when she didn't. I feel like it was so perfect.
Yeah,
too.
the timing was perfect. I made the decision to kind of just quit my job of 10 years just to do it, right? And then a month later, she's like, you know, a couple months later, she's like, hey, this came up. I'm like, really? Because, you know,
I've been thinking about quitting my job.
you know, I'm at the point where I need something better than just sitting behind, the desk working for somebody else.
What I didn't ask. What do you guys do? I mean, what did you do? What do you do?
So I was in banking.
Okay.
For my whole adult life, basically, and it was a great job. Great job, great people, great benefits, but. I have 2 kids. One's right there staring at us, and I was spending less time.
Those matches in there?
I wasn't able to spend a lot of time with them, and they're getting older. My older one's like that weird pre-teen age, so she's like, I need to spend more time with her, more or less, And
I get it.
And so I'm like, I can't do this while I'm working here. So I need to find something. And that's part of, taking a leap of faith. Like I had no plan. I was like, I'm just going to do it and find it. I'm going to take this time to figure it out. And, here I am. This is what I figured out.
Nice.
So it's definitely been, a lot of people are scared of the money aspect. Should I invest in this real estate thing? Absolutely.
Right.
I've gone to school 3 different times in college for 3 different things, completely 3 different things. I didn't finish any of them, and I still owe school loans. I'm still having to deal with the stuff I never finished. But here, it's been 6 weeks, and we've made money off of it,
Right.
And so you have to be open. You have to jump outside of that box and just do it. It's worth it. It's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Good advice, you guys.
Yeah.
Good advice. Well, I thank you guys. Oh, what you didn't get to touch on what you did.
So currently I work for a nonprofit. It's based out of Mesa. It's called
So do I. Sorry.
It's based out of Mesa, and it's called A New Leaf. It's super, super awesome.
Oh, what's it? What is it?
So it's like social service, so like housing and like behavioral health, and then like community services. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
How long have you been doing that for?
3.5 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff right there in Mesa too. I love it.
I love Mesa.
So do I. Mesa, Phoenix, Scottsdale. That's where I invest. So.
Right.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you very much for coming on today. It was great having you guys on, and I can't wait to have you guys back on when you guys are doing your fix and flips. We're gonna come out and document one of them. How about that?
Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Thanks again. All right, truth or comfort.